Welcome to Silicon Valley Asian Business Talk.
Hello, everyone. This is Roger Chen from University of San Francisco Center for Business Studies and Innovation, Asia Pacific. Welcome to join our interview program. We want to thank you for the support.
All right. Thank you, Roger. Thank you for inviting me to this session. My background, I grew up in India and came here for my master's in the early 80s in computer science, and then moved to, and that was at Virginia Tech on the East Coast. I then got my first job at Intel. I went to a college in India called BITS Pilani, which is considered to be India's #1 private university for science and engineering. Intel was like the dream company. I was fortunate to get a job there. So about 10 years into Intel journey, you're surrounded by a lot of entrepreneurs here in Silicon Valley. And, I decided to, begin my own journey with a company called Sierra Atlantic. And, that grew to be a fairly substantial size company, about 2,500 employees worldwide over a 17-year period. And, through the course of that, we raised capital from some of the Sandal Road companies, venture funds. So that's kind of my background as a tech entrepreneur. And I've also been spending considerable time in the nonprofit sector starting 2010-11. Both here in the US and also in India. And a good part of my time also goes into working with tech startups, mostly young first-time founders, helping them build their companies, mostly as an early investor, angel investor, but sometimes I get more actively involved with them, serving on the boards and all that.
Discussion topic: right questions/indicators to find product market fit.
What's your view about for many startup company when they search for so-called product market fit, like a very early phase, searching for product market? What are the typical mistakes or lessons that you'd like to share with other entrepreneurs? When search for product market fit, that journey part.
Got it. Yeah, obviously there's a lot of, this is a topic that's been talked about quite frequently in Silicon Valley, and I'm sure there are a lot of points of view on this and plenty of literature if somebody wants to look it up. So let me touch upon a few things that may or may not have been out there, and, just from my personal experience.
Great, yeah.
Well, one, Roger, when because I mentioned I also do a lot of early stage angel investments. Most of the time, it's actually when the first check the entrepreneurs got from me. So there are a couple of things that I look for answers to even before I make the investment. That kind of relates to product market fit in a way. One is the question of sort of why you? What is it about you as a founder that makes it so compelling for me to invest in this startup? Meaning, what's it about your background that somehow gives you mostly an insight into this problem? First, identifying the problem. Sometimes if the problem is more widely known, maybe an insight into how to solve this at scale and in a unique way that others are not. So that's very important. And that's why oftentimes you see founders coming from large company like VMware or Google or Oracle that have built fairly substantial size companies, or Cisco or Intel, because they have visibility into a class of problems that most people outside will not. Just because you're at the front line, especially the people on the customer facing side. So I think it's very important to understand that the answer to that question as to why you, what's it that makes you unique? And then why now? Meaning, is there something happening in the industry? Some big change? Like right now, there is so much happening around LLMs, right? Large language models and AI. So, or something regulatory. There could be something coming up, with whatever the year 2000 back then, that affected a lot of the industries. and there might be some regulations with the banking finance or with pharma. So I think before you get to actual product market fit, if you have more clarity around those two questions, I think it helps you a lot in getting to the right product market fit, right? And also, once you start your company, your product, and all of that, the reality is the initial deals are all led by the founders. The founder is front and center. You're almost kind of manufacturing the deals, right? Because you're out there talking to the customers, and the customer is sort of betting on you. People buy from people. You might have all the product technology. Obviously, they have to believe that your product is going to solve their problem, but they're also sort of trusting you with, and there is bound to be a lot of tweaking in the first two through the initial customers. And so I think, product market fit, as somebody said, is like finding the resonance with your, customers, your technology, and, everything else. And and once you get to the, so sometimes, I mean, one of the companies I've been working with, they found they had, we believe, what's a great product. I guess it's proving itself out now. But they had a product that they were selling into the banking financial services, mostly the large banks, insurance companies. But it is always a bit of a struggle to, scale that. And the CEO had to be involved in almost every deal and all of that. And then they found that the real market fit was actually in an adjacent space, more broadly financial services, but in the credit unions. So it took them about, I would say, 5 years to get to $1 million ARR. And the last 3 years, they went from 1 million to 25 million.
Wow.
And again, so you may have the right idea, but there may be a segment within that broad industry. Sometimes it may be even a different industry, but, where you might find the right product market fit. So a lot of it comes down to the CEO sort of staying engaged, listening to the customers, tweaking things. But when you get to that point of resonance, as I talked about, then your customers will start referring you, right? In fact, if your customers are not referring you at all, I would say look closely. Maybe you don't have the right product market fit, or you're not engaging your customers properly.
Thank you for watching.